And it's going to be impossible for you to remember everything. It's just not going to happen. But if you can remember a component, a twist, a grip, an entry, each time you get better and better. Once I step through, the finish is right there. Here, up, step through, see. Just here, here's what we do. Right underneath the elbow. So we pop it under, look, deep. I take it over, here. Here, Joe. Here, I can be working right from here. As long as I get comfortable bringing that foot in, I have throws. I can come anywhere. Grip me anywhere. Look, he gripped me right here. Same thing. Any grip anywhere else. Good, look. If you can step across and know that position of that foot, it doesn't matter where your grips are. Grip me. It's just his own grip. I'm not even going to do anything. I'm coming in, Joe.
Oh, yeah. That's fine. That's good. That's good. Oh, yeah, Joe does Oh, yeah. You already grabbed, right? You said the person already grabbed. You good? The person already got the grab. You come underneath.
Yes.
Nice step across.
Good.
Cross, I step.
Entry is everything. The foot motion, the entries, that's just going to take the person over. This is just a bonus. Doesn't matter what grip you have. All right. I'm going to switch gears now. Go force. All right. Look, I'm controlling the person. Grab the back of his collar. I'm going to put my foot right on the inside here. So I jump on the back, boom, right here, and I grab here. I sit to my side. I pull hard on this collar. One up here. Scoop and take.
Are you sitting on him? Yeah,
Good. I want to control the person all the way through. This is a big roll. If I don't have my grips right, the guy's going to roll right out of it. So, here's my grip and here's my grip. I'm going to go really slow. Watch the position and watch where I take the pull of this and watch where my leg goes. I'm going to pull hard on this collar as I start to fall. I land here. I still have the collar. I come to the arm. I still have the collar. I start to sit back. I still have the collar. The leg comes over, replaces my hand. Now I can let go. We jump to his back, and the guy scoops out foot. Right? Bad position now. I can't do what I was going to do. So what we're going to do is back step. Here. So I get to here, the guy grabs my foot. Obviously, I just took my roll out, my equation, because I'm not going to be able to rotate him over the same way for the arm bar. Here's the arm I would be taking. He's got it wrapped up here. So I step backwards. I'm not going to step forwards around here where you can grab. Let me step back. There's nothing grabbing me here. So here, I control. I step here. Look, I reach and I grab his arm. And I grab his belt. I'm going to start to sit. Joe, I'm just going to move your hand to the outside for a second so I'm not going to caught underneath. I'm going to start to sit straight down like I'm sitting in a chair. I'm going to use my inside leg to rotate him over the top. Just watch your head. I'll rotate him over myself so he doesn't have to worry about it, but you have to worry with your partners when you go over the top. Here's the position. We're here. Still controlling. Look, belt, hand. In. Here. Boom, I'm coming in for that first one. Look, he blocks. Step around. Re-grip here. Pull it to the outside if you can. Grip here. Start to sit. So everything's in line. When I sit my butt to the ground, my foot elevates over the top. Look at the position. Here. Still have his belt. Still have his... Joe, start to move from here. I have control. and we finish. Okay?
Even if he has a crazy strong grip, he's still going.
Still going for the right. Even if the arm's on the inside, he's still going just to protect his arm. Are you gonna try? Let's do it. That hand goes to the belt, the other one goes, take the arm out right from here. Control the sleeve. Yeah, pull it up. Now bring your legs close together. Close together. So you're almost pinching your knees a little bit. Now as you sit down on your butt, then your right leg is going to do all the work. You're going to elevate
Try your
over the
best
top.
to keep this hand here so you're set.
Yes.
And once your fist is ready to come,
I'm controlling the guy's body. I'll show you the control factor. I really concentrate on this a lot with my crew. It's just a little bit of subtleties. When I get here, I take my hand and I kind of karate chop right here in his hip, and then I turn it up. When I do that, I'm blading my forearm into his hip, so I'm controlling the hip on this side. My leg is slightly back here, so I'm right behind his knee, so my hip is in line with his hip. And I drive my hip into his. So I'm pinching here with my forearm, and I'm pinching with my hip on this side. I'm driving my shoulder into his back. Joe, start to move a little bit. I'm controlling him just with that. Just with this chopped in here, turning it up so the bony part of my forearm goes into his hip. I know where his hip is. I'm just driving my hip into his hip on this side. Putting my shoulder down, my head, and I still have a free arm to control right here. So I'm just going to bait him. So I'm going to take my leg, I'm going to move it forward, he hooks, and I bring it back. I have this locked into my knee pit. So when I bring it back, I'm squeezing it with my knee. Okay? I'm controlling his elbow right here so it doesn't slide out. Slow little forward roll. The guy on the bottom should roll with you. If he doesn't, you're going to be taking his arm home with you. So I'm controlling here and I'm controlling right here. I'm taking a slow roll. Look. It forces him over. At this position, you see we're both sitting up? This comes down. I isolate here. Now I keep the pinch and watch the arm. You don't have to do this fast. I'm practicing this little bait with the leg. Look, everything comes back. I lock it into my knee pit. I'm putting all my weight on it. So pull your arm out. I'm keeping that locked in just with that. This is going to assure that it stays in. Just put this right in the back and push it in. I'm going to keep it the whole time. Here's my roll. Basically, this hand's reaching underneath this leg. Look, I roll, I have the position. Now to prevent him from keep coming up this way, I bring my hand back, plant it to the floor. Now I just bring my knee and turn it down.
Sorry.
Yeah, Kimura, that's what
there's a key lock with his legs too.
Yeah.
Try?
Sure. Sorry, man.
Look, I bait, he grabs, suck everything back, sit on it. So everything's locked into my knee pit. I'm keeping this pressure on the back. I'm going to slowly roll. Basically, my shoulder comes down the other side of his. Look, I roll, keeping it locked in. This comes down. And now I'm going to move this down to the floor. Look. Get a Kimura on the arm.
Even if you keep hands, it ain't gonna work.
No, you're
done.
You'll break the fingers.
Yeah, done.
You break the fingers with the shoulder.
This is what we're getting.
Yeah, that's tight.
Go nice and slow, and you'll feel it come on. Thank you. So when I roll, you roll. Think of the position of the floor. That's what you do. You guys are the only one there when Nick Costa was in and we did the Canadian roll. This is becoming popular as a roll through and a hold down in Judo in Canada. What they're doing is this, Arnold Force. They come in, they shoot one leg in. It's just the one leg on the one side. This hand, on the same size leg, comes deep to the back of the shoulder right here. And what they're doing is rolling this through and pinning the guy. And I'll show you what I mean. As they start to roll, look, I straighten this leg out. I'm underneath his body. I start to straighten everything out. I roll through. And they're coming up for a hold down, for a pin. So, you always learn something. So I was doing this a lot with the no-gi without putting my leg in. And I would get it 50, 60% of the time. As soon as I started lacing the leg in, I was getting it 90% of the time. So you constantly learn. We're constantly evolving in the game of Jiu Jitsu. So I come in here, look, I sink the one leg in. I come in deep, right here. So my hand's on the back of his shoulder. As I drop to the one side, I start to straighten my leg out underneath, and I'm going to block this arm. Look, I start to straighten my leg out. It makes the roll easier. Now I'm controlling his body, it's on top of mine. We're going to roll through. My leg comes out of his leg. And we wind up for our head and arm triangle. Now, when we roll through, we wind up in a head and arm triangle position. Instead of driving forward initially, resist it, go back the other way. Because the guy wants to come this way. So I'm letting him. So as he drives back, look, he drives that arm back, I'm letting him. So now his arm, when I bring it across, is going to be along his carotid artery. So I give him a little bit of space. Look, I bring my head down, my position down. Then I'm going to slide it in. So I bring it down so I'm in strong position to drive my neck pit sideways into his arm. And then I'm going to take it sideways into his carotid. So I'm here. If you want, you put your forehead right on your own forearm. I drive sideways into it. Then I bring it up. So what you're doing is this. Instead of rushing it and winding up here, you're going to bring it back this way. Drop your shoulder into it. Drive your shoulder right into the line with the carotid. Bring this across, locking it in, squeezing, and then you're going to take it up. So you're taking that right underneath his jaw instead of being on top of the jaw. So we wind up here, and your grip can be deep if you have long arms. A lot of times, I'm going against the bigger guys in the bigger division, so I can't come in for that deep grip. So I wind up coming right here. So my wrist is right on his carotid. Right here on this part, I bring everything back. I slide everything, my head down, I slide everything to the side, and then I bring it up. Just an extra little tip on how to finish the head-on triangle. Resist, rushing it and going this way. Bring it back first, settle everything back, drop your weight down, slide everything sideways into it. So you're here, you're squeezing under here, and then you drive it up. Okay? So getting back to that roll, I'm in here, I'm in deep, I drop my level, bring it through, my grip, I settle everything back, down, sideways into it, and I finish. Good enough? Any questions on that? Let's give it a shot. Thank you. Roll. You see how he landed on his side? You had to bring him back. If you straighten your leg out as you're rolling underneath, so I have my hook in, I have this across. Watch what I do with my leg. I start to fall. I straighten the leg. So I straighten the leg out. So he's on top here. Now when I roll through, look at my position. I'm here. Thank you. I go for the same thing, but the guy's gonna stop my roll. So I come here, I shoot this deep. I come here, the guy stops my roll. I'm stuck in this position. See where I am here? I have my thumb up, my hand is waving to the crowd. Okay? Even though the arm is in here, we're gonna use it. We're gonna come in here for an Ezekiel type grip. Okay? I'm gonna come right behind his ear, find the position, and finish right here. I'm in here, deep, I come for my roll, he blocks my position, I'm in deep. Even though I'm under the arm, when we do an Ezekiel, we usually don't have that arm in there. It doesn't make a difference because we have this cut off on this side already. I'm controlling. Look, my grip is here. We would have rolled all the way through, right, with this? Now I'm just opening it up. High, right here, we feed it in, go from behind the ear, find the sweet spot, and we finish. Okay? That's it, let's do it. Remember right here. Now in theory, I want this, and I'm going to show you regularly over here. I want the underneath the jaw, and I want to dig this in to get the pressure on the crotch. So here I have this coming. And look, that's fine. I'm behind the ear, I'm underneath here, and now I look at the pressure.
Your hand is still like knifed on.
I'm finding the crotch, and that's what
I can feel it in my hands.
here. Come underneath the ear, feel underneath. Going from the same position from the roll through, I know many of you are probably familiar with the bow and arrow choke. I love it. Maybe I have a different finish to it. Who's good with the bow and arrow choke? I heard a bunch of people talk. Can I see yours? You can do it on Joe. Joe's for sale, by the way.
What a volunteer.
He doesn't want to volunteer.
You know, I'm usually from here or from this side. You know, he would break down something a little bit. I'm taking this leg a lot of times. I kind of get back here, or I'm hopping up.
I'm going to give you a variation where you roll through. It simplifies. It's easy. So basically, we have our collar right here. Okay, we're going to jump up and put our foot to the opposite side. I'm gonna do a forward roll. So I'm just gonna let go of him for a second and show you guys the way I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna take my hand, I'm gonna throw it this way. So I land on my shoulder, and I'm gonna roll through. See what I did with my leg and my roll? Remember before when we did that one transition and the leg propelled the person over, and we stayed center line, and the leg kind of rotated around, and we wound up in that armbar. Same type of thing. We here, I bring my foot over. I'm going to shoot this behind his leg. I'm not even going to think about it right now. I'm just going to throw it this way. I'm going to do my roll. My leg is going to do all the work. Look. My leg's going to do all the work.
Ooh.
And come in here. When I shoot my hand behind like this, and I don't think about it, I wind up with it right here. So this is blocking here, and this is blocking here. This is clamped down right across his belt line. This foot, right here, this leg, is making a nice soft little pillow for him. Right? Exactly, for him to take a nap. The finish to this is I'm going to bring my elbows together, my shoulders up and back. So I don't want to be here, pulling all the way back, because once you're here with a bow and arrow, you have nowhere else to go. So if you're not choking them out by the time you're on your back, you're not going to finish that thing. But here, we're tightening everything up because we're here, look, tightening everything up by bringing my elbows to my hips. Now, I'm going to bring my weight back and up. Okay? To get to that position again, just turn this way so they can see. I have my grip, I step in. My foot isn't going to plant, it's going to pendulum through. I'm just planting it so you guys can see. This goes back and I forget about it. It's going to wind up where it needs to be. I just want to roll over the shoulder the correct way and bring them over my foot. Wind up here. This is here, and we're going for the finish. One more time. Give it a try? Let's do it. Here, I'll show you.
Sweater.
So you can see it. In slow motion. And just when I get to that point where I throw my arm back and I have to roll, that's what's going to keep the person in line. So I'm here, I step this foot. I'm going to show you where my foot goes. I'm just going to go to my knee for a second and bring my foot to the opposite side. My foot's coming out the opposite side. in the same hole out here. So it's not going to be stuck in between his legs. Here's my collar again. When I throw my arm back and I do my roll, as soon as I throw it back, it's going to force the position where I need it to be. Here, see? This everything comes over. We wind up here. You can go that slow with it. Grab the same grip. So grab the same grip where we just step through for the stake. Okay. So this time we're gonna bait the leg like we did with the other thing when we rolled with the arm. So he grabs the leg. We're gonna lock everything in. We're gonna come in. I did this a couple weeks ago. This is a review for my guys. We grab the wrist right here and suck this whole thing down. Okay. You see the position he's in? I'm gonna roll through. When I roll through, I'm gonna look this way and roll over my shoulder so I don't head plant myself. So everything is here. By dropping his shoulder down, now I start to drop my shoulder on his shoulder, and I look in this direction. I know which way to look. I'm not gonna make a mistake of coming this way and planting right over my own neck. I want to put myself and him out of harm's way. If I do this roll and he's planted up like this, and I go to flip over the top, I can take his head and snap his neck. I don't want to do that. I like Joe. So I come in here, I grab his wrist, I suck the whole thing under. Look. So I just turned his head for him. I just protected him, and I made it easier for me to roll over the top. From here, I drive my shoulder into the back of his shoulder. I look this direction. I do a little roll over the top. Lock in here, and we finish right there. Here's my grip. Same thing we just had. The bait with the leg. Grab it. Lock it in. Suck this whole thing under. Drive my shoulder down. I have him looking that way. I'm looking that way. I know he's not in trouble. I'm not in trouble. I'm going to do a little roll. Never over my own head. Look, everything's over my own shoulder. I look how to use this. Right here. Lock it in. You got to pull your arm out. It's not going anywhere. I finish here. If need be, you can always come to here too. We're right there. What time? We finish. Let's give it a shot. Messed up with the bow and arrow grip, right?
Right.
It's the same grip. Don't let go of it. Look, we did the bow and arrow grip we grabbed here. We're going to do the same thing. Once you have this grip, don't let it go. Now, I'm going to bait with the leg. He grabs again. Look, I'm under. We're not going to control a guy that's in this position from over the top or start to reach over here. We're always going to be under. We're going to have better grips that way. Right from here, I take this whole thing, I suck the whole thing under.
Oh, his right hand.
Huh?
Nothing.
What'd you say? I suck this whole thing under. When I suck this under, I'm driving his shoulder to the floor. His shoulder to the floor is going to dictate where my shoulder goes. Right there. His shoulder, my shoulder. I made him look in that direction. I'm looking in that direction. Now I'm going to do my roll. I never let go of this grip all the way till the finish. My leg is going to help propel me. Look, that's all. The same leg that propelled me comes right to the figure four. I have my grip here. I have the hold right here. I finish. Okay? If I want extra pressure, I can come under and I can finish here. But I never want to come over his arm and give him the chance to turn into me. Because then he's out. Once again, watch where my leg position is. I have my grip in here. I'm controlling. I can have my control that I had before, where I'm chopped in here. Look, bait, bring it back, control the wrist, under, drive down. Watch my foot. This does all the work, minimal work, like a kickstand. Look, I just bring it up. Bring it over, it comes right into position. I wasn't playing around. It came over the top, locked right in. I squeezed so he can't get his arm out. Go ahead, pull your arm out. It's not coming out. I finish right there. Okay. I showed you today. It could be anything. I threw a lot at you, and it's going to be impossible for you to remember everything. It's just not going to happen. But if you can remember a component, a twist, a grip, an entry. Each time you get better and better. So just remember a couple little pieces to that chess game, and each time you'll get, you get to advance your game. And that's about it. Do you guys have any questions on anything whatsoever? Yes.
The footwork for the throw you showed us, the entry with the feet. Can you just go over that one more
Mm-hmm.
time?
Joe?
Sorry, Jim.
Now, the reason why I didn't have you guys throw, and I explained it before, is because I'm taking away your ability to break full by taking this arm. If I didn't have this arm and I just stepped through, I'm going to give Joe his arm back for a second. I'm just going to step through with a Seitosh. I got it. All you have to do is go for the right. I'm going to step through with the Seitosh. He has the ability to break full here. He break falls right there with that arm. By me holding that, I'm taking that ability away. That's why I didn't have you guys throwing, only if you felt comfortable taking that
So
full.
I got the foot that comes across the right, your plant foot.
The plant foot?
Does barely move?
Just stay right there. I'm gonna lead with the one,
Okay.
and I'm almost gonna back step and replace the other foot.
So you want to come right?
Almost like I'm kicking it out of the way.
Okay.
When you get depending on the entry and where the grips are, if you're out here, it's gonna be different. If you're stepping in and back stepping into it, it's gonna be different. But right from here, to make it easy, it's just lead with one foot. I like to be slightly on the inside, and I just kick myself from the heel, replace, boom, shoot it across. And that's the easiest way to remember that.
Appreciate it.
Good?